Hello and welcome back to another in-depth weather video. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of thunderstorms, heavy rain, a little update on the tropics. Something has happened and we'll get into that later. Some drought talk, and we will finish off with the models as well. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another in-depth weather video. So here I am on the National Weather Service page, and the orange is lighting up the map. That means heat advisories, and heat advisories are sweeping the nation from Oklahoma all the way to Maine. We have heat advisories, air quality alerts, and even some severe thunderstorm warnings in spots as well. But that is the main story today, is thunderstorms, some heavy rain associated with that. So, especially today, we had and most of the time too, we had the severe thunderstorm warnings and the excessive rainfall, like the flash flooding, usually in the same spots, because usually with severe thunderstorms you do get heavy rain. So that was a trend, especially yesterday. But we will talk about the heat. I will continue to go into that, and I'll probably post something on my Instagram as well, kind of like a forecast. I think it's a forecast gift for the models, but I don't know, I'm still pondering that. So here is the current radar. We kind of see some monsoon rains, and you can see the system. They're kind of meshed together right now, but this is the system that we're watching here in the northern plains. Here's the monsoon, and then everywhere else you have some tropic associated thunderstorms, some other thunderstorms, and then other than that, just some occasional showers in the west, parts of the Midwest, even some speckles of rain in the Northeast. But other than that, those two storms here, the monsoon as well as the northern plains severe thunderstorm threat, we are pretty clear. So let's move on to the Storm Prediction Center for our thunderstorm outlook. So we have two areas of slight risk. We have one in Rochester, Buffalo, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Columbus, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, and Detroit, and another one in the McCook and Colby area, as well as several other states. If you are in this dark green region, you are in a marginal risk. That is a 1 out of 5 chance to get severe thunderstorms, which a severe thunderstorm is anything. A thunderstorm have to have a thunderstorm that has either 58 mile an hour or higher winds or 1 inch hail. So speaking of that, tornadoes 2% in some spots near Casper and Cheyenne. Winds, that really followed exactly on the categorical. There's really no big difference. Usually when you get severe thunderstorms, it's going to be high winds or hail. Now, hail is about the same, but there is no hail threat, no 15% hail threat with that other slight risk. So that other slight risk is mainly for hail, for high winds, not hail. The other slight risk is for wind and hail and possible tornadoes. So moving on, let's go to the excessive rainfall outlook. So here's the excessive rainfall outlook, and you can see the marginal and slight risks kind of go along with the Storm Prediction Center. You can kind of see, if you toggle the categorical on here, you can kind of see if they're right in the same spots, but as well as another marginal risk for that monsoon, which is expected. So marginal risks and an area of slight risks in Kansas and Missouri, but marginal risks from Wyoming to New York in this kind of bow-shaped region. So, as well as, of course, that monsoon. But that is really where you're going to be seeing that marginal risk will be 5 to 10% chance of flash flooding, slight 20% chance. That's where you're going to be seeing your chances of flash flooding. Of course, you can get flash flooding elsewhere, but that is where it is most likely. So, let's move on to the National Hurricane Center, do a little update there. So I'm in the East Pacific. We're going to go to that right away. Now, this disturbance is now given a 40% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours, 50% in 5 days. Central Pacific is still empty, Atlantic as well. So let's go to the 5-day and then just quickly cover that. Nothing in the Atlantic. East Pacific, you of course have that same disturbance, 50% chance in this slashed off region. So this slashed region is the area for possible development. And now let's finish off with the Central Pacific, which also has no disturbances. So we are continuing that low, but we could see some action in the Eastern Pacific. And if that does get named, that would be either Tropical Depression 7E or Tropical Storm Douglas, depending on strength. Now let's move on to the drought conditions. Not much has changed since yesterday. So a few areas that are starting to get into that extreme drought, we're starting to see that kind of, especially in like the Colorado area, like over in the west here, starting to really ramp up there. But we do have, so this week, percent of land area, if you're not in a drought, you're in the majority, 56.01%. If you're in an abnormally dry, you're in the largest minority at 43.99%. If you're in moderate drought, you're in that 23.04% of the U.S. land area. Severe drought is 9.7%, and extreme drought is 2.29%. So seeing that all this red is 2.29% just shows you how big the U.S. is. Now let's move on to the models. Let's quickly run through the models here. So you can see that's where you're going to have one of your outbreaks of severe thunderstorms. You kind of see a little bit right in here, but not much. So this is one of the times that the NAM really isn't showing what the National Weather Service has been showing, as well as you can see the monsoon as well in there. But we just have the thunderstorms keep popping up, and they're mostly popping up in the northern and interior regions of the U.S., as well as in the monsoon area. Not much else is really popping up, at least not lighting up the map. Of course, you're going to have isolated thunderstorms in spots. That looks kind of MCS-like, but that's pretty far out. But really, you don't see the isolated thunderstorms on here. That would be more the HRRR. I don't show the HRRR because it's 18 hours, so that's slightly short of one full day. So I like to do the NAM because it's a little bit larger of a size. 60 hours is much better than 18. So really just lighting up the map in the northern plains, Great Lakes, and interior northeast with those thunderstorms, and of course the continuation of the monsoon area. But let's move on to the temperatures, because that is going to be a big story today, especially in the northeast. So let's see here. Sunday. Alright, so 90s on the coast of the US, East Coast, in fact, excluding Maine, like parts of down east Maine aren't going to have that. So most of the East Coast of the US is going to be in the 90s. Most of the actual southern parts of the US, except for, actually most of the eastern US, in fact, except for some areas in the Great Lakes regions and the northern plains, could see a little bit under that 90-degree mark, 80s, 70s, and even some 60s in there. That's kind of strange to see. But, and then you've the desert. The desert is on fire. Look at that. Once you see those purples, you know it is smoldering hot. 112, 114, 111, crazy temperatures. But other than that, the northwest, you're going to be in the 80s, 70s through 90s, but of course you're going to have some lower temperatures in areas of higher elevation, And you're gonna have some of these spots here. Those spots are areas that just got hit with a thunderstorm. Thunderstorms usually take off a few degrees. So this is the best representation that I can get from a single forecast hour. So I can't go through multiple forecast hours, that would take too long. So, speaking of too long, I'm going to end that video here, this video here. So I hope you all have a great Sunday, and I'll see you again tomorrow.